Kids usually dream of one day becoming president or an astronaut or even just successful. But me? I wanted to beat Sonic Adventure 2. As a child who loved games, I was not very good at games, so my parents got me every guidebook they could in hopes of helping their stupid child. So imagine my surprise when the Sonic Adventure 2 guidebook started revealing all of these seemingly optional power-ups and even a bonus level at the end of the game. But I was 8 years old and cynical because I was burned before. My best friend Noah in the 3rd grade convinced me that Sonic was in Melee and Mickey Mouse was in Mario Party 5, and I believed it. So when I heard that there was a level in the game that I've never heard of, finding footage online of it was simply not going to be enough. I just had to see it with my own eyes. However, I was sadly not skilled enough at the game to get the required A ranks on every single mission in the game. But now I am 27 and technically unemployed. So let's gather all 180 emblems in this game and see if Green Hill Zone is real. So let's start with City Escape. I mean, we all love this level. What a warm introduction to one of the games of all time. And if you don't know, for every level you beat, you get one emblem. But if you get a B rank on it, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace to your entire bloodline, because you get an emblem at the end for completing every level for a character with an A rank. So I guess we'll be back, and no, before anyone asks, S ranks do not exist in this game. People in my chat kept asking, and it was like, no, then the mission would be get all of the S ranks. Whatever. A ranks are always going to be decided by one of two requirements: score or time. Or with the secret third option by collecting every single ring inside of a level to get a guaranteed A rank, but that's too hard. More times than not, it's going to be score though. Sometimes this means defeating certain enemies, collecting the emeralds quickly, or maybe getting a bigger combo with your War Machine mech. But after City Escape, it was time for the first boss of Bigfoot. This doesn't give you any emblems, but you still have to murder the pilot before moving on to Wild Canyon. After a weird and sexually charged scene with Rouge, Knuckles, and Eggman, I guess, I was dropped off and quickly had to find 3 shards of the Master Emerald, which, if you find them fast enough, it's the easiest A rank of your entire life. Not super fast, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's what I'm telling myself. Oh shit, never mind. Now it's time for Tails' turn to shoot Eggman and break into a high-security prison. For these levels, it's all about comboing multiple enemies and making sure you find the golden beetle worth 1,000 points hidden in every single level to make sure to get the A rank. One less level to come back to. So after Amy breaks Sonic out of jail, that's right, he got arrested after that boss fight, and now we get to experience genuine peak of a level, Metal Harbor, which grants us the first upgrade of Light Dash. When you line up behind a bunch of rings, sometimes you'll collect them in a quick dash. Emphasis on sometimes. You also get a lot of points by chaining enemies together and destroying actual aircrafts as they approach you. The tricky part is that you can escape by grabbing onto this rocket, but for some reason there's a secret back path that gives you even more points. Oh my god, we're moving. Oh baby. Holy shit, first try what I say.
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
Also, if you held a gun to my head and asked me to recite this entire cutscene from memory, I walk away unharmed every day of the week. The only point of this boss fight is making sure you know how to mash right before entering Green Forest. I know I'm spending a long time talking about each level, and there's essentially 180 of them, but this is a long run, and it's going to be a long video. I'm sorry, and thank you for your time. So after blowing up Hawaii, it was time for Pumpkin Hill. I mean, for now, I'm just tackling the story bit by bit, but the challenge comes from the fact that each level has 5 total missions. The normal one you've been seeing, a race to get 100 rings, find a missing Chow, beat it but fast, and then a hard mode, which I kid you not, sometimes feels like a Kaizo ROM hack or one of those shitty Mario Maker levels. I found the 3 emeralds pretty quick, and it put me at 5 out of 6 A ranks so far, but now it was time to make an announcement. Whoa, don't skip forward, because I need to talk about today's sponsor, AirUp. And they're here to help you deliver the gift of taste to loved ones this holiday. Is that the motto we're going with? Look, you might be wondering, how exactly is giving a water bottle giving the gift of taste? Well, AirUp isn't a normal water bottle. Using AirUp's patented pod technology, it turns normal water into a mind-blowing flavored experience. Thanks to the science of scent-based taste, all you have to do to enjoy your favorite flavors is to fill the bottle, activate the pod, sip, but don't tip. And for the holidays, Air Up has 3 limited edition bundles that can make for perfect gifts, offering savings up to 30% off. And on top of it all, there is just a ridiculous selection of flavors. From their new cherry cola pods to their fruity selections like blueberry and peach. I'm a cherry guy, but Air Up has something for you and everyone else on your gift list. So to cash in on some of these deals, visit Air Up today, because don't you try to lie to me. Don't you try to tell me that you are absolutely finished with your Christmas shopping. It's okay though, because these deals will be running for the rest of the holiday season, all the way through December 26th. So don't put off gift shopping any longer. So head over to Air Up by clicking the link in the description and find the right Air Up gift for you, your friends, and families, so they can all enjoy the gift of flavored hydration this holiday season, and perhaps even beyond. On Mission Street, Tails near immediately gets the booster upgrade, which is gonna help me cheese out certain missions in the future. This one went pretty smooth as I found the gold beetle, changed several enemies with my microwave beep of a gun, and finished with enough time bonus for yet another A rank. With Knuckles taking the stage, it was time for the aquatic mine. This level has an optional power-up that you definitely need later that allows Knuckles to breathe underwater, so I was gonna put emerald hunting on hold, and it's... Oh, shit. I wasn't even looking for the emerald. I'm trying to go down here. Well, I'm at this point I should just finish the level, but I'm gonna go for it anyways. What the bro? Yeah, this level's A rank was done entirely on accident. So I guess I'll just come back later for the air necklace. I'm sure you might have forgotten, but this game has a complete and fully functional kart racer built into it. Our hilarious goal on this one is to track down the President of the United States and his limousine. To get into A rank though, all you have to do is beat the level in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh, come on, he's right there. No way. Oh my god. So we had to get... Oh. Okay, so now that we found the president who looks like this, how about we go to Egypt? You know, because Tails has to invade the hidden base. For this one, I kept the same mentality as normal for these first few runs. Getting points is nice and all, but just try not to die, because if you do, your points get reset to 0 and A ranks become essentially impossible. And in a world made out of quicksand, death was a common commodity here. This level is simple, sure, but it's simple in a way that's terrifying. Does that make sense? Yeah, but with 90% of the A ranks achieved so far, I was officially 1/18th of the way there. Oh god. Pyramid Cave. This level is tough and the A rank is tight. However, they do give us the bounce bracelet, which allows Sonic to go boingo mode, and it will make every other mission so much easier. But more on that later, because there will be a later. This is a B rank. I don't know why Egypt has such a miserable level design, but somehow they created the Death Chamber for Knuckles to explore long hallways and portals to other dimensions, which all sounds pretty fun unless you're searching for 3 tiny objects. I did find the upgrade that lets you punch metal crates and spent multiple minutes exploring the stage without a single blip on my radar. No, this level was not kind to me. It was shocking that I did not find anything, but sure enough, I found out a way to clear every Knuckles mission, a giant fucking spreadsheet with every possible emerald location, since they're all random, and dear god, there are a lot of them. I know this might look like cheating per se, so I'm just gonna call these levels an open book exam. Oh yeah. There's also this boss for some reason. I don't really know where he comes from or why he's here, but he folds pretty quickly, and then they throw a second boss at you for some reason. There are faster ways to do this, sure, but it goes down pretty easily no matter what. So now that we're done with Egypt, let's go to space next. Eternal Engine. I'm such a huge defender of the mech levels because, yeah, I know it controls like that, but I get such a rush of dopamine every time I land a massive combo. Which is lucky for me because that's pretty much all this level is. I don't remember where the gold beetle is. Oh. And it's even better the second time. The level ends with a giant section of mechanical flailing, a tunnel of death, and then a shooting gallery for a finale. Afterwards, you have to jump from here to the goal ring, which feels simple, but it's those easy jumps that fill me with absolute dread. Ah, meteor herd. Let's see what our handy-dandy spreadsheet has to say about this one. Look, I love the Knuckles missions, but if I'm grinding for A rank, it would just be foolish to not use all the resources available, right? Oh, fuck. However, the spreadsheet will not help against Rouge. No, this boss battle is awesome. You just intimidate her and she dies. Yeah, so that was the boss fight. After revealing a bit more unresolved tension between these two, it was time for Crazy Gadget. This is one of the hardest levels in the game, but I'll talk about it more when I come back to get the A rank. Oh yeah, there's another Eggman fight. For some reason, this one is just unfair at times. I mean, you can deal as much damage as you want, but sometimes Eggman just hits you with the raw level 3 and you just gotta hold it. Laser? Chill. Okay, I'm dead. Just know I was, though. Sure enough, I eventually beat it, but I have to assume that this specific boss fight genuinely gatekept most children from finishing the game and reaching the last level of Final Rush. The most important thing about this level is that we can pick up the Mystic Melody, which is really just a power-up required for future Chow missions. This level is full of rails, jumps, and dangerous falls. Sure, Crazy Gadget's hard, but at least this one's easier, right? That was a pretty good run, though, I think. I feel pretty happy with it. I don't know if it's A-rank material, but I'm... Ooh, ow, I don't know, that one hurt. No, so we'll be coming back to this one too. All that's left to do now before finishing hero mode is have a casual conversation while jogging with a friend and make sure that this specific friend dies a cruel fate in space. Yep, that's Hero Story. We could jump over to Dark Story, but first, let me show off some of the other missions in this game, after I redeem myself with an A-rank in City Escape. Anyways, now let me start with my favorite level, Metal Harbor. The second mission is always time-based since it's about collecting 100 rings as fast as you can. If you play through this level normally, you'll always end up here with specifically 99 rings, which is just cruel. They also don't give you any others for a long time, so you have to know that they put one hidden ring right here in order to get the A rank. So the third mission in each level is about finding a lost Chow somewhere on the map. There's not really any indication on where they might be, but if you can find this shrine somewhere, you're probably in the right area. Using the Mystic Melody can do a lot of different things, but usually it creates platforms for you to safely rescue the Chow with yet another A rank. However, I do have gripes with the typical fourth missions because it just requires you to go fast, which is usually the plan anyways. If these missions gave out ranks based on time, it would make more sense, but it's not. These are score-based, and usually it's the exact same score you need to get an A rank on the first mission, so like, I don't really get the difference here outside of a giant timer on screen, but if you A rank the first mission, you're probably gonna get an A rank on the fourth one too. Then there's the last mission that requires you to beat the level on a bullshit hard mode, but I decided that I was gonna save all those for the end to make sure we get a climactic finale and not, say, Chow Karate. Oh yeah, Chow Garden is a required part of this run, by the way. But not yet! So I got started on cleaning up more and more missions from Hero Story, like collecting 100 rings in City Escape and then doing Chow missions with just enough time to get another A rank. I know that I don't have to show you every single mission, but since I'm already in this deep, I might as well let this video serve as a guide in case you are also deranged and decide you want to avenge your childhood shortcomings by getting an A rank in Mission 4 of City Escape. So to mix it up, let's do Route 101 next. Getting 100 rings here was perhaps one of the easiest levels in all of Sonic Adventure 2 since there isn't any possible way to lose them. But since you can't save a Chow here, the kart racer missions get a bit creative. Mission 3, don't hit other cars. This is the same advice I try to follow when I drive, but sometimes, much like in real life, you turn a corner just a bit too sharp and slaughter a family of 4, and have to start the mission all over again. Sure, I could be a better driver, but after beating that level, now they want me to suddenly avoid hitting walls? This might sound easy, but when your car is stuck making this noise, you can only do so much. So after eventually beating Mission 4, I decided to give Knuckles some love and collect 100 rings in Wild Canyon. Yeah, the second mission is typically the easiest one, but treasure hunter missions do get a little difficult because sometimes these levels don't even have 100 rings, which is somehow one of the least shocking parts of this game. Look on the bright side. At least Wild Canyon isn't one of those stages. For the Chow mission, I didn't have the Mystic Melody for Knuckles, but luckily it was hidden in this exact level. So I had to climb to the top, sing a song, and save another Chow. And it's like, honestly, how do you even get here? I know that I keep complaining about how the first and fourth missions are essentially the same, but when you're searching for emeralds, that timer does do a good job of scaring the hell out of you before getting blessed with such a beautiful route of emeralds for taking home an A rank in the 29th emblem of the run. So now let's try an actual Tails mission. In these levels, your rings don't even keep you alive. These mechs have health bars, which implies that they expect you to get hit multiple times, and that's exactly why these 100 ring missions suddenly become a bit more difficult. Sometimes you get jump scared by a bomb, sometimes a plane flies into you at Mach speed, and sometimes another off-screen plane bombs you from a completely unreactable angle while holding 99 rings. Look at that. No! No! But despite the several targeted bombings on an 8-year-old fox, I finally got an A rank. But like, Jesus, how was I supposed to beat this as a kid? I realized that I couldn't save any chows without Tails' mystic melody, so I returned to Hidden Base to find it. Only to fail the A rank requirement since I couldn't find 100 rings fast enough. So imagine my frustration when I realized my chat was actually correct for once. Path behind you? Oh. Okay, got it. So while we're here, let's clean up Hidden Base by saving the chow that's hidden in plain sight. And by that, I mean not really hidden at all. And as you'd expect, Mission 4 was an absolute breeze. So with a lot of levels yet to be finished, I went to the aquatic mine and sincerely struggled to find 100 rings. But when I actually went to get the air necklace this time, I realized that this secret path was loaded with rings. So I found roughly 30 around the overworld and returned to the hidden grotto to finish this mission in record time. However, this chow mission was a very complicated game of hide and seek. Of course, I used the mystic melody I just got, but then spent an embarrassingly long amount of time trying to figure out where the hell am I supposed to go. Somehow, this missing chow also performed death-defying stunts by navigating through these treacherous underwater tunnels? Sure. I know that Mission 4 puts a scary timer on screen, but once again, I have a spreadsheet. So now it's time to go back to Mission Street since I got the Mystic Melody and saved another chow who has realistically ended up in one of the most dangerous situations imaginable. I do not know where to go in this mission, but when it comes to lost chows, if you ever see a path that looks like it's unnecessary, incorrect, and ultimately leads to nowhere, that's somehow going to be the correct path every single time. But for this mission, oh my god, oh my fucking god. You can get sniped out of the sky. Awesome. So the next time I made sure that this specific bot perished, and then I nearly died right before saving the chow. For the first time so far, this fourth mission actually did prove to be difficult. Sonic and Knuckles are so good at storming through their own respective levels, but Tails takes his time. Getting points in mech missions require you to meticulously build combos, which makes the ending of these levels tight. Hey, watch out for the fighter jet. Oh god. Oh my god, that was so close to hitting me yet again. Ah, damn. Oh, it's right here too. Oh, I'm right at the end. Alright, reset. Oh my god, get me out. Oh, damn, dude, so close yet again. Oh, god. Okay, let's not get crazy. Yeah, it's even more painful to watch the second time. After such a tragic loss, I was not going to let them get the best of me again. For a pleasant change of pace, any level featuring Sonic is usually an absolutely free A rank since collecting 100 rings typically just happens during normal gameplay. Before moving on to the next mission though, I wanted to revisit City Escape. Not to attempt the hard mode, but to make sure I didn't forget about acquiring the magic hands for later. This upgrade may seem entirely useless, but it's only marginally useless. No, it will definitely have at least one extremely niche usage later in the run. Anyways, back to Green Forest. Sometimes the chow is hidden in plain sight, but this is just one of the few examples of me not even having the slightest clue where to go. While exploring every corner, I found the ancient light upgrade, and I legitimately did not know this existed. Did I know about this?
Ready?
Oh.
Go.
No, I didn't know about that. I eventually did find the shrine, but suffered an embarrassing amount of death from this level design made for toddlers. After another shameful game over, I clawed my way back and got not just one, but two of the remaining A ranks in Green Forest. Similar to the other mech levels, Prison Lane barely has any rings, so in a quest to get 100 of them, there isn't really a huge secret on how to do this. It's really just about holding forward and hope that it happens. I know you don't need to know the exact whereabouts of yet another chow, but if I went through all 180 emblems, I have earned the right to talk about him, okay? He's over here, by the way. Oh, and the emblem for the fourth mission? Yeah, right here. Nearly 25% of the way done. Jesus Christ. I know I've only been at this for 4.5 hours, but it's been a long 4.5 hours, okay? In Pumpkin Hill, I didn't really know where to go for 100 rings, so my first attempt was dedicated purely to recon, and after I found enough, I created a route, followed it, and moved on to find the Chow on top of this creepy mountain. And yeah, we're gonna be skipping over a lot of the 4th missions, alright? So with 47 out of 180 emblems collected, I decided to call it a night, and immediately started stream back up the next morning. Twitch.tv/Alpharad. In hopes of avenging myself from yesterday, I returned to Pyramid Cave to claim that highly coveted A rank. A few months ago, I watched the world record 100% speedrun from Trader, which inspired me to do this in the first place. And in that video, he kept performing this tech called super bouncing. I never learned how to do it, but I had a guess.
What is the tech? Oh, that tech. Cool.
But is this alone gonna make the difference? No. I do not know why this one level is the bane of my existence, but it took several failed attempts to simply figure out what the hell was I supposed to be doing. In hopes of feeling somewhat competent, I took on the 100 rings mission for a free A rank, but when it came to finding the Chow, needless to say, this level was not kind to me. Yeah, when it came to the 4th mission, somehow I beat it near effortlessly, which doesn't really make sense at all. Well, I guess that means I can get the A rank on the 1st mission, right? Okay then. These 4 missions somehow took an entire hour for me to beat, but at least I get to move on and tackle the death chamber with Knuckles. Again, these levels barely have any rings in them. I felt like I kept searching the barren land for resources and routinely finding nothing. Despite it being hard at first, the coolest part of these missions is that I was forced to make a route in live time without any prior knowledge. Eventually, I had my route. Run towards the center, run around for a bit, take the blue path, hit this box, grab this shield, get hit totally on purpose, use Mystic Melody to make some rings appear, and oh, okay, no, I don't have enough. So I hopped into the back portal and it respawned all of the rings again. Huh. Oh, well that's not good. And then I learned that apparently the back ring does not spawn until one of 2 conditions are met. Once you go past the time required for an A rank, which we obviously don't want, or 2, you take damage. I didn't end up needing it for this level, but that back ring definitely opens up some interesting possibilities for the future. However, the Chow mission was one of the most peculiar ones. First, the Mystic Melody takes you to an underwater labyrinth, and then after conquering it, yeah, good luck finding the Chow, asshole. I tried to play a game of hot and cold with the audio cues, but ended up taking way too long before realizing that it was just above me and I was being a little bit of an idiot. Good thing about these kinds of missions is that by the time you play it for the second time, the hardest part is already over. Oh, and then there's the 4th mission where you just pull up spreadsheets and continue winning, but in a reasonable time. With 53 emblems collected exclusively from Hero Story, I know that I could have kept going, but I wanted to experience the other half of the game in Dark Story, starting with Eggman's Iron Gate. Surprisingly, the overall design of these levels differs pretty greatly from Tails in my opinion. Eggman levels really just feel like a run and gun shooter that begs you to keep holding forward and holding the trigger down on every enemy in your path. And if you do that, you should pretty much always find an A rank at the end. Next up is this brief boss fight from Shadow into an embarrassing moment in competitive spreadsheets as it only resulted in a B rank. Right before Eggman's Sand Ocean. This level features a good amount of platforming combined with a lot of enemies to shoot, but despite that, I got a C rank, which is not very good. When it comes to Shadow levels though, they're essentially identical to Sonic's. The start of Radical Highway has a hidden power-up that we need to come back later for, or not. Yeah, I guess we can just get it early. Typically for these kinds of missions, if you just hit enemies in your path and make it to the end quickly, you'll likely get an A rank for the level. Luckily, the camera sure does do exactly what it's intended to do.
Oh, game? Would you like to fucking zoom in?
At least things worked out on the second attempt, and by worked out, I mean things are not going well. Rouge is now up to bat with one of the worst levels in the entire game, Egg Quarters. It doesn't feature the 4th dimension like Knuckles' level did, but it's hard to complain about these levels when I do in fact have spreadsheets pulled up on my other monitor, you know? If you couldn't tell from earlier, Eggman's missions require an obscene amount of points, and Lost Colony is no exception. It's nice for the future levels that we find the boosters here, but Jesus Christ, you shoot nearly everything in sight just to make it to the end so the game can spit in your face. Following that is yet another Eggman level for some reason, but Weapons Bed literally begs you on all fours for the freest A rank of your life. I mean, there is so much fodder scattered across the entire map. So now that that's out of the way, let's skin a fox and make it to the best treasure hunter level in the game, Security Hall. Yeah, there's a giant timer in the corner, but it doesn't really mean anything since if you want an A rank, you're gonna have to find all 3 of these emeralds before it reaches 0 anyways. I don't know exactly what it is about this mission, but the vibes are just immaculate. Being a treasure hunter performing a heist just feels right. Good thing for us, they left all the treasure out in plain sight and allowed me to get another A rank. Sure, Rouge has to fight the giant mech, which isn't very hard to do, but Shadow's White Jungle is next, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna skip through all this because I just want to talk about this goddamn cutscene. It's iconic, I know, but you can tell the developers really liked it because we have been forced to watch it twice now, and I promise you that this will not be the last time either. Yeah, whatever, let's just blow up the island, drive a fucking car-shaped cock and balls so we can find Tails and...
I found you, Fox Boy.
Wait, what did she just say? When it came to Shadow's Skyrail, I spent a long time on this mission. Not because it's hard or that I was trying to get an A rank, but rather because I am very stubborn and wanted to attempt this entirely unnecessary skip that, in my defense, looked very cool. But was it worth it?
And then after fighting the egg golem, No!
So after fighting the egg golem, I fought the egg golem again and got launched straight to mad space. This is currently one of the levels of all time, but not even a spreadsheet could save my illiterate ass. Eventually, I did conquer most of the beta for Super Mario Galaxy and stumbled upon one of the most embarrassing moments yet.
I think it's here. Yeah. Really? No way this is what kills the run. Shoot? It's probably just on the side, isn't it? That's pretty embarrassing, actually.
Now that the tables are flipped for this fight, I used the exact same strategy as the last one. Wow. The penultimate level of Dark Story is Eggman's Cosmic Wall. This stage is one hell of a journey, so I'll save that explanation for when I come back for an A rank, because I did not. Before we put Eggman to rest though, he has to whiff punish Tails' raw level 3 before killing him once more, but this time in space. Final Chase, the last mission in Dark Story. For this, I just want to go as fast as I could, only take a brief detour to grab the Mystic Melody. I definitely had some moments close to death, like more than one, but somehow managed to bring home an A rank on my first try, and honestly, thank God, this level is hell. So now it's time for that cutscene, and much like last time, you just kind of play it until you're done playing it, and then you're at the credits. Again. Right before this random Kingdom Hearts-ass cutscene starts playing and unlocking the last story. After finishing both storylines, you know that Sonic stopped the Eggman Death Star, but Shadow said the Eggman Death Star is going to destroy humanity, and now the giant Eggman Death Star is falling down to Earth to destroy humanity. I guess. So all 5 of our heroes, yes, these 2 are heroes, now have to team up together and create one of the most hype relay races of all time, Cannon's Core. First up, Tails has to navigate through this corrupted labyrinth while possessing the ability to stop time through these weird switches scattered throughout the map. Then, after breaking through the first section, Eggman takes over while killing rogue bots and navigating through toxic waste in one of my favorite platforming sections in the entire game. Next up is Rouge, who has to flood the core by sneaking behind the waterfall and pressing the flood button, which is confusingly convenient. Then Knuckles takes over since he can breathe underwater thanks to this entirely optional and not required at all power-up. This next section unfortunately takes an incredibly long time. If only there was a way to do it faster. Oh well, guess not. For the last leg of this relay, Sonic steps up as the anchor. Despite all of the other levels being decently fleshed out, this is really just a few enemies before facing a water park slide and the level's over. For now, I genuinely believe that this combined level is one of the coolest parts of any video game ever, so what a fitting 69th emblem for us. As you might have noticed, Shadow did not participate in the relay race. Why? Well, he has to fight his big brother, the pre-ultimate life form. To this day, I don't know how you go from this to this, but all in a hard day's work, I suppose. The first Bio-Lizard fight is definitely one of the most tedious parts of the game, though. I wouldn't exactly call it hard, but it's just unkind.
Oh my god, I die here, don't I? Oh, that's a filter.
Sure enough, I pulled through and set us up for one of the greatest moments in video game history. Oh, the music, the setting, the giant fucking lizard in space, the reveal of Super Shadow God! this is an impossible peak for me personally, and I've never popped off more than seeing this for the first time as an 8-year-old.
Have we as a society, or we as a culture, or an industry of game developers, has anyone really made a moment to top this one?
Look, this boss fight is just incredible, okay? It doesn't even matter if this is one of the least memorable bosses in Sonic history, because this thing is remembered for the moment. Also, speaking of the moment, somehow something incorrect happened.
No, Shadow, no, we move. We move. What the fuck? What the fuck? You can do that? It moves? Huh? Okay. Whatever. Wait, what is Sonic even doing here? What did Sonic even do? What happened?
And just like that, Sonic and Shadow saved the world. I mean, sure, Shadow died, but did he really? Also, Sonic Movie 3. Hey, I see you. Don't fuck this up now. Anyways, the world is saved. Credits roll for the final time, and now just 110 more emblems left to go. Oh, this is gonna be a long video. For the next emblems, I decided to test out some of the extra modes, like Boss Rush. This isn't really anything complicated or elaborate, since I've already showcased exactly what you do in all of these, so there's one. And then you get another for clearing the dark half of the bosses. Yes, there's one for doing all, but it just felt a bit repetitive after clearing Hero and Dark mode. So I put it on the shelf for later so I could focus on the best part of Sonic Adventure 2. The kart racing, of course! This section is split up between 3 separate emblems since there are 3 different courses, each with varying difficulty. First off, the AI cheats like hell in this game. I have no idea how you're supposed to catch up until the game just lets you. It feels like you're playing a kart racer with turn-based combat. Like, Shadow gets his dick crushed and then suddenly takes the whole race. So you can continue this confusing game of tug-of-war for the medium course, which is fine. And yeah, you do it again on the expert course, but I just want to show off this one skip. Haha!
Yeah, isn't that shit cool?
Okay, and we're done. That's all 3 emblems, and we're finished with kart racing. For now, 9 hours into this run, and not even halfway, I wasn't feeling great. Like, the whole world record has already beat the game by now, and yes, even the Chow emblems. When it came to White Jungle, though, I spent some time cleaning up the missing A-Ring from the first mission, and then set off to Chow World for the first time. I then watched Shadow create life and purchase more life through illicit means. Shadow then created a slightly edgier life and took it upon himself to name him Shadow 2, but that is a story for another day. I mean, we still have to collect 100 rings in White Jungle. Wasn't that fun? In case you've forgotten about the Chow missions, and if so, I can't say that I blame you. I spent a good amount of time while searching for this Chow and didn't have any luck on my first attempt. But he was just hiding in plain sight on this slightly separate path, which means now it's time for mission 4, you know, like mission 1, but with the timer. Wait, no, mission 1 on this level has a timer. Okay, it's officially the same mission, but again. After that, I just wanted to check out Security Hall in hopes of finding 100 rings, but like most treasure hunter missions, there are like only 4 rings. So remember when I told you about the back ring exploit a while ago? I did a quick recon session to find enough rings and then restarted the mission while making sure I got hit right at the start so the back ring would appear. Then it was just a matter of executing the route and following it until I got at least 50 rings before hopping back into the back ring, following the route again, and collecting a free A rank. Routing in live time is definitely one of my favorite experiences from some of these levels, especially when some of them are impossible to do without certain upgrades. So back to Dry Lagoon to collect Rouge's Mystic Melody, and while I'm here, I might as well clean up the missing A rank, yeah? Next up, 100 rings and one of the quickest routes I've ever managed to come up with. After scouting out the area, I noticed there were multiple bubbles in a row offering tons of rings, which made this mission shockingly fast since you just follow the same route twice before clearing the mission flawlessly. After searching for a shrine, I set out to save this Chow in record time who was just having a little swim. Then through the power of Spreadsheet Gaming, swiftly achieved another emblem for mission 4. So now it's time for the run back of Radical Highway. Redeeming the A rank wasn't a daunting task, and neither was 100 rings since in these levels, you just hold forward until you get a shiny new emblem. What's interesting about the Chow missions is that you start to develop this weird sixth sense for them. If you don't come across a shrine naturally, the first place that feels like it would be strange to check is usually always correct. Then the 4th mission was attempted and cleared, and that's all I can really say about it. Feeling nostalgic about all the kart racing, I returned to Route 280 to quickly collect 100 rings and was then presented with an impossible mission of do not cause car accidents. I've mentioned before how easy it is to slaughter a family of 4, but did you know that they can fight back, cause the accident, and blame you?
Bro, put your turn signal on, goddamn! They almost ran into me! Oh my god!
Dude!
Dude, what the fuck? This dude's an awful driver. Stay in your goddamn lane.
Look, I don't know why they had it out for me, but they did, and I somehow ended up clearing it on my first attempt because I refuse to take credit for that one. So now Rouge had to attempt an even harder mission of not hitting a single wall. I guess it's a bit easier since the walls can't run into me, at least I'd hope. I tried to take this one safe, but kept getting impatient and ended up resetting off of blatant arrogance time and time again. If you're new here, hi, take a seat. This happens a lot. So after finishing up this mission, I saved the 5th one for the last gauntlet at the end and picked up a Chao key so someone else besides Shadow could enter the Chao Garden. Thus, Sonic created Sonic Jr. as a rival for Shadow 2. But in attempts of creating the perfect Chao, I realized something. This shit takes forever. Anyways, back to Security Hall so I can collect Rouge's treasure scope and find the hidden Chao all the way up at the top in an impossible to access platform. Yeah, crazy how these optional power-ups are really not that optional, huh? After I finished off Security Hall's 4th mission in record time, and since I couldn't stop thinking about it, I returned back to Chao World with a plan this time. It might go against the whole point of this video, but you're currently watching videos from a guy who uses rare candies and Nuzlocke, a gun in Pikmin 4, and now a software designed to create the ultimate life form in a creature named Shadow 2. So, after changing a few numbers here and there, we took him for a test drive in Chao Karate.
Yeah, this is pre and post times. Oh my god, look at him. He is willing and ready to scrap. Oh, one punch, one punch. Oh, you see the wind up?
Yeah, so Shadow 2 did that roughly 19 more times and it resulted in not just 1, but 4 whole emblems added to the collection. Then it was time for Chao Racing. This is like karate in the sense that it's a testament to your Chao strength, but more like the DMV in the way that you can only hope to accomplish one small task, but it ends up taking 4 hours anyways. Since Shadow 2 was given an abundant amount of performance-enhancing drugs, each race was over within just a few seconds. Unfortunately, the other side of that coin is that sometimes his stats were so freakishly high that the game couldn't process how strong he was, and he would soft lock the game by being too strong to shake fruit off a tree. Not sure how this one works out, but I had to put the Rock Lee ankle weights on him for the rest of the races. So emblem after emblem, win after win, I was starting to feel more confident with Shadow 2 and decided to boost his stats up to the game's absolute limit, and what do you know?
It's not...
It crashed the game, which allowed me to learn something very interesting about Sonic Adventure 2. Apparently, Chao data doesn't save until you leave the garden. So all of those emblems, progress, and time it took to find the perfect numbers were suddenly gone. I didn't have much motivation to keep going, so I ended stream, grinded the races again off stream, and came back the next day bright and early to finish the rest. Before we could call Chao Garden conquered though, Shadow had to give birth to a Dark Chao, witness a Hero Chao evolve to rival it, and attempt the last 2 race categories before rounding out the total emblem count at 99. After a flawless career, we let Shadow 2 retire in the blood puddles of hell and set out to conquer every single boss fight in the entire game for Emblem 100. At this point, I can finally taste the finish line. I know 80 emblems still seems like a lot, but I was starting to get into a rhythm here and felt confident I could beat the rest of the game in like another 10 hours? Oh, Jesus. So with 80 emblems remaining, I just wanted to finish getting A ranks on everything since the boss rushes, kart races, and Chaos were all out of the way. Playing the actual game is all that was left. So for the 101st emblem, I set out for Eggman's Iron Gate to collect 100 rings. My attempts are usually just trying to beat these levels as fast as I can, and if I get an A rank, I move on with my head held high. Before I could save any chows there though, I had to go back to Sand Ocean to find Eggman's Mystic Melody. Then I forgot about the Mystic Melody and accidentally learned a new glitch thanks to multiple world record holders in my chat. Apparently, you can create an infinite amount of combos by locking onto everything in the general vicinity and then canceling it by whistling near a pipe. It's not a super hard input and allows you the freest A ranks, but really only on this one specific level. Then, instead of finding the Mystic Melody, you know, the whole reason I came here, I accidentally forgot again and got 100 rings instead. So now that I was on the Chao mission, I definitely need the melody to save them, right? Well, I don't know if I did or not, because I did it without it by accident yet again, so I'm kind of at a loss here. Usually the fourth mission is routinely skipped over, but I have to take this time to talk about how I actually found the Mystic Melody on my fourth attempt of not getting distracted. So imagine how stupid I felt when I realized that it's literally at the start of the level, slightly to the left. Yeah, not really my best moment. So I just spammed that weird whistle cancel thing to farm an infinite amount of points and cleared all of Sand Ocean for now. And since I actually have the Mystic Melody, this allows me to return back to Iron Gate and save this poor Chow who got lost crawling through the Sonic equivalent of Area 51. Exactly what I said before, if you ever see a branching path that feels the slightest bit incorrect, that's always going to be correct, somehow. So now that it's time to beat the fourth mission, how crazy would it be if we beat the fourth mission? Whoa, we beat the fourth mission. Oh, remember when I spent about an hour trying to hit a 6 skip just to get a C rank on Skyrail? Yeah, now it's about time to scrub that one down and then move on to the mission where you collect 100 rings by following a path to 100 rings. Am I doing a good job of not making this sound repetitive? Honest question. Since this level is so short, the Chow location is pretty easy to find since you cross it on every normal playthrough. At the top of this tower, you sing your melody, take him home, and quickly complete the fourth mission without talking about it too much since it's literally the exact same game plan as the first mission. For weapons bed though, collecting 100 rings is easy because there are so many random groups of them laid out everywhere. So this mission is really just about not getting hit by the onslaught of enemies so you can finish collecting all 100. As for the Chow, I spent forever trying to find the Mystic Melody Shrine, and despite running through the level multiple times, I had no idea where it was. I felt absolutely lost. Sure, eventually I found the Chow, but this room, this little section, is completely inaccessible without the Mystic Melody. But I felt like if anyone could cheese it, it'd be me.
Y'all are being way too dramatic. Because it's like, if it doesn't work, what did we lose? Like 10 minutes? Yeah, it pushes me off this wall. So I have to make it over to the corner. Look, don't you feel so foolish now? Oh my god!
That was a small victory, sure, but a huge personal one that I really needed 16 hours into the run. Next up, Mission 4 of Weapons Bed. Normally, I do skip over these, but I struggled a bit here. You naturally spend so much time setting up long, elaborate combos with Eggman, and every single time, I just forget about the timer entirely until it was way too late. So yeah, this one is tight, but if you keep moving forward, you can bring home the 112th emblem. I then took a moment to reflect on this beautiful bouquet of pink A-ranks filling my screen. At this point, it really started to feel like I was close, especially since I've been putting off the final missions for all levels, and you get one bonus emblem for getting all A-ranks with any specific character. So now, let's just rip off the band-aid and tackle Rouge's headquarters. Believe it or not, finding 100 rings in levels that barely even have 100 rings have become one of my favorite missions, since it always starts off with a recon session, and once I find enough, I just follow the route. This one starts with taking damage right as the level starts to activate the back ring for later. Then I just follow this full circle loop around the map while collecting a little over 50 rings just before doing it again, but this time in reverse so I don't have to activate the homing death beams and collect another A rank. The Chow is hidden below a 2,000 pound heated weight that murders them instantly, but if you slide under right before their imminent death, you're rewarded with another A rank for some reason. Then the fourth mission, blah 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 blah, spreadsheets A rank, and now we're on to Sonic's crazy gadget. In the base playthrough of Hero Story, I got a B rank, so I was determined to avenge that with a little trick that I barely remember and have actually never tried. It's gonna go great. I just completed the level as per usual until I got to the weird gravity maze right before the end. Through a well-timed super bounce and a Hail Mary of another jump, I crossed the death plane that kills Sonic instantly, but somehow it gives you the A rank anyways. As always, finding 100 rings is as simple as just holding forward in these kinds of missions, but the Chow was a bit more hidden. I remember finding the Mystic Melody Shrine somewhere in the gravity maze, so I just explored the area until I found it and performed a few skips, followed the path in my head, and hoped it was right. Oh, then the fourth mission went about as expected, yeah. Next up was Final Rush, and as I attempted to figure out this level, I'd just like to say, thank you for watching this far into the video. I know I'm explaining every single emblem, but I just wanted to explain every single emblem. I'm hoping that this is one of the videos you watch while eating lunch, but like spread out over 3 or 4 days, and if it is, then my own personal mission was a success. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're at least subscribed this late into the video, and if you do, I promise to give you all the culinary accompaniment you could ever ask for. Anyways, final rush, yeah? This mission took me a long time to perfect. First off, I never even knew where the golden beetle was, and then when I found it, how the hell do I hit him? So I decided to come back to that later and focus on collecting another free emblem with the 100 rings. Sorry to the chow, but going back to that first mission, my biggest discoveries for points were making sure I nailed the awesome jump at the start, since that helps apparently, and another awesome jump at the end. All other points can be picked up through enemies and performing perhaps necessary skips to find a golden beetle. I don't know how I was supposed to find them normally, but it's an A rank either way. I'm pretty sure I died on that level more than any other level in the game so far, so despite getting that A rank, I wanted to take a break from that and try something fun, you know, like Knuckles' Meteor Herd. Cleaning up the first mission was a breeze because, you know, but the next one was going to be a lot harder. Before I could even tackle the 100 rings, I had to pick up Knuckles' final optional but totally required power-up of the sunglasses. This is the exact same thing as Rouge's treasure scope, but it makes him look cooler. This power-up reveals random rings that you couldn't see otherwise, so if you combine that with using fallen meteorites to explode hidden walls, now this mission becomes doable. To find the Chow here though, you have to play a quick game of Intergalactic Only Up before finding a shrine that teleports you to a teleport that rescues the lost Chow. The fourth mission again was nothing crazy, but I still feel the need to mention them whenever I pick up another emblem. I don't think this is going to be a hot take by any means, but Mad Space might be the worst level in the entire game. Not only do the hints look like this, but the whole gravity gimmick is awkward and ultimately difficult to traverse. Nevertheless, my spreadsheets prevailed, and in order to find 100 rings, I created the very difficult route that was fast enough to get an A rank. But imagine the surprise on my stupid ass face when I realized some of the rings were hidden due to not using the treasure scope. And at this point, I am done calling these power-ups optional. Being fresh off a meteor herd, I assumed the Chow was also going to be hiding at the top, and well, the shrine was, but for some reason, I had to go through a strange labyrinth of teleporters before I was able to secure the A rank on the first try. Then, you know, fourth mission. Since we're stuck in space though, let's continue on with Tails' Eternal Engine. I got the A rank on the first mission already, so the next one was really just about collecting 100 rings while dodging every possible jump scare, which might have happened a lot. After I finally got it, I had to backtrack a little bit because I realized I also forgot to get the Mystic Melody for Tails and was too tired to be bothered, so I turned stream off for the day and came back the next for what was hopefully the final day of 100%ing Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah, this was a 3-day experience. To start off, I wanted to play one of the best levels in the entire game, Eggman's Cosmic Wall. This A rank requires the highest point total of any level in the game and is such a genuine run and gun. You really just hold forward, fly, and chain together as many combos as you possibly can. There really isn't much more to it than just that. But if you're struggling on it, focus on combos less on the rails, since a lot of things will despawn if you hold the B button for too long. After killing nearly everything space has to offer, I was rewarded for my efforts and set off to collect 100 rings. This one isn't as hard as you'd expect it to be with the thousands of enemies around, because they also leave tons of rings scattered in the early sections. So this one is shockingly simple. Then when it came to the Chow, this was the quickest one yet. I stormed through the start of the level, and before you even get a whole minute into the level, the shrine is on a small detour, and boom, another A rank. And would you look at that? Another A rank. At the time, I thought that was the last Eggman level, but I forgot about Lost Colony. I had to do the typical thing of replaying the first level so I can get an A rank on it, even though I should have gotten it the first time, right before storming through the 100 ring mission immediately after. The Chow in this level is hidden in a downright cruel placement, as it's so easy to walk by it and not even notice. Did you see it? Yep, I just walked right past it. When you first enter this open area, you have to jump on this nearly obstructed platform as it brings you up to a shrine that then takes you to one final and dangerous path before saving another Chow. Oh yeah, mission 4. So anyways, remember Eternal Engine? Yeah, I forgot to save the Chow in there, so he's just been struggling on his own for a while. Fortunately, similar to the other level, right after you open the doors up to space, the shrine is tucked away in the corner and takes you straight to another A rank. What's nice about approaching the end of this run nearly 20 hours later is that I'm almost done with having to come up with fun ways to skip over mission 4.
Oh shit. Let me go. God damn it. God damn it.
Even if this one did take me 2 whole attempts.
At this point, only a few levels remain before tackling the gauntlet of final missions, but now I gotta go find the Chow I abandoned in Final Rush. You go through about half the level as you normally would, and then the game presents you with a rail that really does not want you to grind up it, and even after you do, there is still danger lurking around every turn. Even after navigating all of that, there is still this fully vertical rail that really does not like cooperating. So I just ignored it with the super bounce and barely secured an A rank before doing the 4th mission and also getting an A rank. Wow, crazy how that happens. So now for the shadow counterpart of Final Chase. Luckily, I cleared the first mission with flying colors in the initial playthrough, so this one was really about finding 100 rings, and there's not really a big secret to this since going fast will probably guarantee another A rank. Now with just a couple hidden chows remaining, this one requires you to reach the end of the level and then take the secret pulley at the end. After that, you scale up this gravity pipe while dodging unreactable electric gates, which is just about as much fun as it sounds, before taking home the 138th emblem. Oh, scratch that. Forgot about Mission 4's 139th emblem. With only 41 of those remaining, I realized that it was nearly time to start completing the gauntlet. The last obstacle on my path, though, was now a relay race of Cannon's Core. Much like when I did it the first time, I quickly navigated through each character's path, but tried to score every other combo of points possible. Then when it came to the Knuckles part, I executed this tight out-of-bounds skip that was going to earn me a lot of extra points through the time bonus at the end. So now it was up to Sonic to storm through this level and earn Cannon Core's first A rank. Now it's time for the second mission, and this is where things get interesting. Since Tails doesn't have enough rings in his section to earn the emblem himself, he has to pass it off to Eggman, who surprisingly doesn't have enough rings either. What rings, guys? What are you talking about? Oh, you're right. No, this is the rings mission. Hold up, wait, no. There it is, guys. See? No, we're fine, chat. We're so fine. After that, we get to come over here. You want to replay the 3rd mission of Route 101? For no reason in particular? But what chat didn't know at the time was that if you play through the 2nd mission of Cannon's Core and end with Rouge, and then follow it up with any mission in Route 101, rats, it's a D. The game will get confused and wrong warp you back to Cannon's Core. Don't doubt me. The beauty of this glitch is that you don't have to play through the first 3 time-consuming sections. You carry over the rings you earned from Route 101, incorrectly by the way, and this is the first time in the run where we've had a guaranteed A rank. Sure, we have 0 points starting out, but remember when I said that if you collect every ring in the level, the game automatically gives you a perfect score? Well, thanks to Route 101, we've gained more rings than are even possible in these last 2 sections. So now all we have to do is use an incredibly tight spin dash jump to perform an infinite time stop glitch into another spin dash jump into a homing attack cancel to make this Goliath of a jump, since this part should be impossible given how I skipped the first 3 sections, but Sonic still found a way to save the final chow anyways. As for the 4th mission, I did the exact same thing where I comboed the 100 rings in a Route 101 and back to the 4th mission of Cannon's Core just to die and restart the whole level because the 4th mission doesn't have any checkpoints. Awesome, by the way. So at that point, I decided to stop showing off and just do the mission legitimately, and now it's finally time to start the gauntlet of final missions. I saved the hardest part of Sonic Adventure 2 for a challenging trial worthy of a finale for this phenomenal game. So let's start with Mission 2 of Cannon's Core. I mean, come on, Mission 5 is probably very difficult. So we'll let Rouge grab her 100th ring, mosey on to Route 101's final mission, and I do think it's funny that this is the true start of the 5th mission gauntlet, but god, I love these levels, but like in a sick and twisted way. What's fun about this one is that getting an A rank is the only way to clear it. Even if you are approaching the end of Route 101 and the clock hits 2 minutes and 50 seconds, Tails will claim the president just got away. Even if he's literally right fucking there! And as you'd expect, the level resets. So drive fast, eat ass, and watch as Tails secures the first of many emblems in Sonic Adventure 2's Gauntlet of Final Missions. And that's the last mission we've done. We get our emblem, and then what happens? We're back at it again, baby. Yep, so now we're in the final mission of Cannon's Core. Well, at least part of it. After Knuckles clips out of bound yet again, swims through the Mexico filter from Breaking Bad, and hands it off to Sonic, this is where I started to experience the Kaizo elements of Sonic Adventure 2. Keep in mind, I have to beat this entire level without getting hit a single time. Otherwise, I'd lose the exact rings that guarantee my A rank. This sounded possible, but these 2 chaos blobs kept sniping me down over an endless void. I tried everything from changing up the timing to Ancient Light to even sneaking up behind them, yet died every single time. Then I realized there was one power-up of Sonic's that I have never had to use in a level.
Magic Hands. This was the one power-up that I was confident in being entirely optional.
No way.
But once again, it found one singular and extremely niche usage late into the run. Since there was only one slide between me and the full A rank of Cannon's Core, I approached it with caution and terror and fear, expecting a full Kaizo hellscape of level design.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck me.
And I was right.
Oh my god. Okay. Can I pull back? Can I pull back at all? Whoa. Oh my god. Oh shit. Okay, I can hug the wall and I slowed. Oh.
Yes!
Perfect score. And Cannon's Core is done.
We move from 143 to 145 emblems, since the game gives you one extra for completing all of the last story missions as well, and one per each character. So now, there's really no correct place to start, but I wanted to kick off the gauntlet with my favorite level in the entire game. Metal Harbor. Getting points in this one isn't too difficult because they throw so many more enemies in your path, and this path of enemies essentially guides you towards the gold beetle. When it comes to destroying planes though, they put giant spinning fucking spike balls because fuck you in your path to make it harder, but somehow if one of them destroys the planes, you still get points for it? Outside of random enemies appearing in Sonic's path, not too much has changed until you start approaching the rocket and have to homing attack off a few beetles before jumping off the rails to catch the rocket's back handle. Then it's just a short board section, and then we've cleared another last mission with an A rank. Now that the world is open and I can go anywhere I want, I decided to boot up Wild Canyon for some variety, and when I examined my spreadsheets, I realized that none of the emeralds were there. Apparently in the last treasure hunter missions, all 3 emeralds are static and will always be in the same exact spots, but they're all placed in the most insane locations imaginable. Wild Canyon's first emerald shard was hidden in plain sight right in the middle of the giant wind geyser thing, so I started mashing A and B, and even if there was another way to do this, I brute forced it and it worked. Then I followed the emerald finder until it brought me to the shard hidden right below a platform, which makes it surprisingly difficult to grab. So after searching the entire map for a single blip of the finder, I realized that the last shard had to be hidden in a random wall somewhere, and after eventually finding it, I had to make a guess of which fucking portrait was the right one in this Lost Woods ass section, and of course managed to guess it right on the first try. So now it was a matter of restarting the level, executing a brand new route made up on the fly, and then collect all 3 shards quickly enough to be rewarded with enough points for an A rank. Since I found this elaborate game of hide and seek pretty fun, I decided to finish out all of the Knuckles levels first and ended up in Pumpkin Hill next. The fact that all 3 emeralds were always the same was pretty fun, since finding them was an adventure in of itself, and then creating an A rank worthy route brought even more fun to the mission for me. Pumpkin Hill's first emerald was hidden right under a massive land, which again, they're not that easy to grab. Then the next one was hidden in a wall while being blasted by twin flames. So you just kind of sneak in when you can and prepare yourself for the third one. Of all moments in the game, this was probably the one that made me ask, how the hell is a child supposed to beat this level? I searched the entire steeple area with my radar going crazy, but it wasn't until exhausting every single one of my options, climbing to the very top of the steeple and equipping the sunglasses. Like, someone said this in my chat earlier and I legitimately did not believe them. It sounded like someone was trying to pitch you that Sonic actually was in Melee. Not only do the sunglasses cause a spring to appear, but you also have to immediately glide perfectly out to the middle of nowhere to grab it. So I was willing to reset with a quick fix route and brought home another A rank, but like, Jesus Christ, man. These treasure hunter levels really do not mess around, but now it's time for Aquatic Mine. In my opinion, this level has some of the craziest locations out of all of them. Like, I searched the entire map and didn't find a single glimpse of a shard on the radar. Eventually, I checked the Chow area as a desperate Hail Mary, but like, dear God, why was I correct?
Wow.
After searching the entire map again, I was not having any luck, but then I found an emerald hidden in an impossible location at the start and began examining every corner of the mine with sunglasses until eventually stumbling upon a spring that launches Knuckles straight to the emerald. So now, there was only one more to find. I just continued to survey the map as I've been and finally found it at the bottom of a pit filled with spike balls, because of course there are. So like all the other levels, I restarted and created a route surveying the mines, launching up the spring, and then returning to the first location that I earnestly checked as a joke. This A rank felt earned, and it led us straight towards the death chamber.
I know this isn't one of my favorite levels, like at all, but hey, at least all 3 emerald shards are consistent. After searching throughout the entire map, yes, even the Chow area this time, the empty radar told me that I was gonna have to get creative. I then proceeded to check every possible painting found in the hidden room, and after solving the puzzle, I went back and checked the Chow area and came across both of the other keys. So now it's a simple process of resetting, following the route, and receiving an A rank for the 150th emblem. Oh my God, we are so close. To finish up all of Knuckles' missions, I attempted the final one of Meteor Herd. Knowing how much random bullshit normally litter this area, I prepared for the worst and took a bite of my dinner. I was eating chicken fried rice. Chill on me. The first emerald shard was hidden behind a door near spawn, which honestly felt too good to be true. Knuckles just had to give a fallen meteorite a small love tap and bust open the door before climbing up towards the second shard, which took me an eternity to do. I don't think there has been a single emerald in the history of Sonic Adventure 2 that has tripped me up more than this one. Like everywhere I went, I only found more and more confusing answers, so I'll skip over the whole 17 minutes it took to find one shard of the Master Emerald just for the third to be in the exact same place, but a little higher up. So just finish the level about 17 minutes faster, and there you have it, the final A rank for Knuckles. We lock in at 152 emblems and even get a ceremonious black screen with rainbow text to celebrate such an occasion. Now it's time for the other half of the treasure hunter level, starting with Dry Lagoon. The pathing for this one was so simple since all the emeralds were really just in plain sight. The first one is right above spawn and requires a leap of faith. The second is right next to where you would have taken that leap of faith. And the last, as you'd guess, is physically impossible to reach as it's caught in an undertow below the stage and completely inaccessible without a hidden spring, only discoverable with the treasure scope. Yeah, these treasure hunter levels sure do love hitting you with that shit, huh? Before tackling the rest of her normal missions, I took a detour to Route 280, and I can't really say that there was anything too different in difficulty in this one compared to Route 101 outside of her cock and ball race car. I know that these are some of the more forgotten levels in the game, but genuinely some of my favorites. It's a free A rank, sure, but a much needed refresher in the sea of other levels like Egg Quarters. Out of all of the last missions, this one was by far the most shocking. All 3 hidden keys are barricaded by cages that in the past 154 emblems have never taught you how to obtain. I thought it would be with the giant monkey throwing bombs in the room, but no, he just unalives himself. You have to find a smaller bomb monkey disguised as a normal enemy, make sure you don't accidentally kill him with a rocket, and pick up their bomb without having it blow up on you. Then you run all the way to the other room and open the cage, but no, that's not all. That was only the first key. The next one is buried in a wall behind 2 other indestructible crates that aren't entirely bomb-proof. So, as you've probably guessed, you have to find another monkey, bait him into throwing a bomb, pick it up, and hope the third key isn't as bad. But you already know it will be. For this one, you have to find a bomb and carry it around the entire map while wearing the treasure scope so you can make sure not to miss the spring. Yeah, this level's insane. Also, this prevents you from jumping as well, since doing so would deactivate the treasure scope. I think the concept of this is fun, but out of all 180 emblems in the game, I can confidently say that this one feels like the least tested level in all of Sonic Adventure 2. Speaking of untested, let's check out Mad Space. The hardest part about these levels is that all of the hints are backwards and reversed. So, good thing I didn't plan on using a single one anyways. I was just gonna keep gliding around in random places until I eventually found them, and that strategy at least worked for the first one. Given that there are 3 planets in orbit here, I had a theory that there would be 1 emerald shard hidden on each, and to my surprise, Mad Space actually rewarded that logic for the second one. Sadly, the third emerald shard was gonna be a bit higher. I think it's really easy to hate on this level, and I have, but the last mission really redeems it. The emeralds are placed in hard to find positions, but they're the places that feel most rewarding to find. However, the third one is stuck in the middle of a medieval death trap designed to fucking kill you. So I went back, recollected the first 2 shards before praying that God had favorites today and abusing invincibility frames for another A rank. Then I saved the best for last as a perfect send-off for Rouge in this run. Security Hall. Somehow the first Chaos Emerald was found by blind luck and picked up before 20 seconds even passed. Then I assumed there would also be one at the top, and my intuition was right yet again. I had to dodge a tricky amount of lasers that would melt Rouge on the spot, and then the final emerald was locked behind a vault. I didn't exactly know how to find the switch for it at first, but how surprised would you be if I told you that it's attached to a hidden spring inside an iron box that is only viewable from behind the lens of a treasure scope? Out of all of the last treasure hunter missions though, this was by far my favorite to route because it all felt so linear and fluid. All of Security Hall was a blast though, and it really shines high above all of Rouge's other levels. So with another set of rainbow text blessing us, it was time to move on to Tails. Starting with Mission Street. The biggest difference of these mech levels and their Kaizo counterparts is that they mainly just throw a fuck ton of enemies at you, and most unfairly jump scare you in entirely unreactable ways. So with a ton of extra points now required, you gotta do double duty with Tails and combo as many enemies as you possibly can, before then moving on to Prison Lane. I feel like if you look at Wild Canyon or Dry Lagoon, you can see that they are a bit more tame on every character's first levels. But with Tails, there are mechs around every single corner designed to shoot, jump scare, and straight up kill you. But despite all of that, I managed to get an A rank on the first attempt. Some of these levels are hard, sure, but I don't think any of them could possibly compare to the amount of time it takes to solve the last missions for all of the treasure hunters. So let's try something harder. Something like Hidden Base. Let me start by saying that this level is terrifying. If you want an A rank on any level, it essentially requires you to beat the whole thing without dying once. Which is exactly what makes this quicksand labyrinth a real-life horror. One wrong move and it's over. Though I'd like to think that over the past 25 hours, I've improved at this game a lot. I mean, I was juking enemies left and right in this slow-ass mech, but the last mission for Hidden Base was about what you'd expect.
What the hell is this?
Well, almost what you'd expect. I was scared as hell the whole time, but cleared yet another Tails mission on the first try. So let's ramp up the difficulty even more with Eternal Engine. This is one of those mech missions where you just have to destroy every single thing in sight. There aren't really any big tricks to the first half outside of kill, but the scary part comes from this American sniper and interesting collision detection that was clearly my fault.
What the fuck was that?
So I guess we'll start over and the exact same thing happens again. Why?
What?
Literally what? Well, third time's the charm as I finally overcame the impossible jump by simply not blowing up the floor beneath me, which was apparently the only obstacle standing between me, an A rank, and another black screen with rainbow text. So now let's hand the baton to Eggman in Cosmic Wall. This is easily the best mech level in the game, but even the first mission had a lot of enemies, so what could this one possibly have? I mean, it starts out by giving you a shield, which basically alerts you that you are about to become a victim. I started out by partaking in typical Cosmic Wall shenanigans of flying through space and committing robot genocide, but this is the first mech level in the game where I've had to constantly watch my health as random enemies would strike you if you greeted even a single time for a combo. Learning my limits on this stage was definitely a skill I didn't have at the time, and that's why I had to start over. On the second attempt, I had a good idea of what to expect and had much stronger combos from the start of the level. So I took what I learned, pushed onwards, and made sure to focus on killing rather than comboing, especially on the rail section, since that's where I lost most of my health last time, and with over 100,000 points at the end, I brought home Eggman's first A rank in the final gauntlet. Emblem 164. We are so goddamn close. When it came to Sand Ocean, I breathed through as per usual and shot down every piece of machinery the US government sent my way. The biggest difference of this level compared to its base version was not just the increase of enemies, but it raised the difficulty of the platforming as well by removing a significant amount of the platforms over quicksand. Though luckily the last mission didn't remove the pipe near the bombs at the end, so I was still able to perform the whistle cancel glitch and secure all of the points I needed for another A rank. Weapons Bed is another one of my favorite levels in Sonic Adventure 2, so I've been looking forward to this one for a while. The level starts with an immediate jump scare, and then it doesn't even have the platoon of robots we used to use for free points. All you can really do is take what you can get and keep moving forward as those troops of bots eventually reveal themselves and get chain linked into perfect combos. I nearly died right at the end, but held on and finished Weapons Bed with an A rank on my first try. With only a couple levels left, next up was Iron Gate, and since this was Eggman's first stage in the game, I wasn't expecting much. The general level design stays relatively the same, but they just throw nearly 3 times as many enemies in it. This one just felt like a bad Mario Maker level, so I took the free A rank and set out for Eggman's final level of the run, Lost Colony. The level starts out with an incredibly evil booby trap at the start that almost blows up the floor beneath you, which really sets the tone for what I was about to experience. Outside of adding not just more, but also stronger enemies, a lot of the platforming has also been changed, from switching up simple puzzles to enhancing a lot of the already difficult platforming sections. Unfortunately, my first attempt was not good enough, but I linked better combos on the next one and gave Eggman a proper send-off before getting to the last section of the game. With 169 emblems in our collection, it was time for Shadow to take the stage. The mech levels were a nice break from the difficulty, but these ones were not as kind. Even Shadow's first level of Radical Highway was still a challenge.
Tons of ramps were added to the speed section to rack up a few points here and there, but also the enemy placement felt like they were always right in the way of where you wanted to go. To my surprise, even the gold beetle was in a different location. And at the end, I got jumped by a few robots, finished the level, and just barely hit the threshold for an A rank. But as you can probably tell, this idea was taking a lot longer than I expected, and if you paid attention at all this video, you'd be able to tell that my roots are showing like Taylor in August. So my hairdresser, Sophia, was going to come over after stream ended, but I greatly misjudged how long this was going to take, told her the wrong time, so now we're multitasking through White Jungle, okay? This level adds a comical amount of enemies in the most unnecessary of places. Like, sometimes it makes sense why you'd add a 30,000 pound weight to a level, but then you turn a corner and there are just 6 guys hanging out without any real purpose. Also, there's this one jump that is blocked by 2 platforms on an asynchronistic cycle and a spark beetle. So that's 3 separate cycles that have to add up, and this jump took me forever. Eventually, I just forfeited the points and jumped from one platform to the next and even nearly got killed by this tank of an enemy. But apparently, oh my, Jukes, Shadow is just built different. This level lacks a clear path to the end of it, so I made a wrong guess, beat the level again, and realized that it was actually a lot easier than I was making it out to be as I got catapulted to the end with another A rank. Sky Rail was next, and since it's normally one of the fastest levels in the game, I was hoping it wouldn't be too bad, but uh-oh, surprise, giant spike balls hitting on the rails. Oh, this is gonna be fun, huh? This level is all about moving fast, so arbitrarily adding enemies and spikes on this one boosts the difficulty much more than it would on other levels. Getting hit on the rails is brutal, getting hit while platforming is brutal, and finishing the level with just 1 ring made for an absolutely brutal A rank altogether, but hey, at least we're moving on. Since I wanted to save Final Chase for later, I switched over to Sonic for Pyramid Cave. This one is probably the action level that I struggled the most on for the first 4 missions, so the last one had potential to be a real run killer. I mean, I say that like I'm not already 26 hours into this speed run. Look, the timer isn't there to show how fast I'm going, okay? I feel like it's a common misconception, because it's actually there to show you how much time I have wasted. I tried to get as many points as I could through the early rings in the level and got even more from picking on random enemies throughout it. The key section randomly became a puzzle, and the final tunnel felt truly worthy of being a final mission, as so many of the obstacles were designed exclusively to slow you down and feel bad, but as I expected, this level is hard. All I can really do is reset, try my best, and reset again when that wasn't enough. Pyramid Cave is a tough level, and I reset at so many different points, which were all uniquely tragic in their own way. Even when I would finish a level, it was never good enough. But on one run, everything suddenly started to go right. I scored all possible points in the intro, picked up some extra enemies, hit the gold beetle for the first time across all attempts in Pyramid Cave, and sure enough, it was finally the run. With only 7 emblems remaining, I entered the last mission of Green Forest and was instantly surprised by new boss that appear during speed sections as well as giant spike balls who make a welcome return. Most of this level was centered around homing, attacking off multiple enemies for combos and trying not to die to random obstacles in your path. Most of this level felt relatively simple compared to the other last missions, outside of the final section, which induced a bit more anxiety than usual, but all in all, it's just another A rank. After taking in this beautiful sight of nearly every level in the game cleared with flying colors, it was time to finally attempt the last few levels, starting with one of my favorites, Crazy Gadget. Out of all last missions for the action stages, this one felt the most changed by far. Sure, the level starts out pretty similar, but soon begins to branch out by introducing upside-down bounce platforming, which is cool, but god does it feel unnatural. They removed the quickest gravity switch, added more enemies, and then added stronger enemies. They even added this homing attack section where you have to time your jumps around multiple separate shock beetles, and even though it's an easy jump in concept, it felt terrifying to execute. They also added another gravity bounce wall and even included a grabbable rail that has strangely not been used a single time in any other level. But then they featured perhaps the hardest jump in the entire game, an upside down homing attack section. This mechanic doesn't even work well normally, and it definitely performs worse in the wrong gravity. On the next attempt, I tried skipping over all of it and ended up triggering another death plane. So I decided to not even try to homing attack this time and just try to free fall until I could dash to safety. After skipping this section with another spin dash jump, it was time to see if I could exploit the gravity maze the exact same way I did earlier. Luckily, they didn't add any new enemies to this path, and the skip helped me achieve one of the final A ranks in the game. At long last, it was time to close the book of Shadow the Hedgehog with Final Chase. This is one of the hardest missions in base game, so I was hoping that the last mission would deliver.
The fact that on the first few attempts I died in 3 different ways before 20 seconds even passed, I thought it was pretty clear that this was not going to be easy. I did my best to skip over sections without enemies, but took my time on the intended path to make sure I could gather as many points as possible. The most notable change was all the exploding meteorites surrounding the gravity tubes, and I can't say that the electrical fences and thin rail sections made me feel any safer. I feel like this was a level that I could have spent a long amount of time on, but played pretty well as soon as I made it past the start of it. I did experience a death because homing attacks in space are a bit difficult, but that loss allowed me to clean up the level even more than the previous attempt and clear the same jump with 0 effort when I clawed my way back to it. Sure, I was met with even more electric gates, but after a few short obstacles, that was it. That was the end of the level. Final Chase has been defeated, thus bumping up the emblem count to 177. So with only 3 more to go, we say farewell to Shadow and revisit Sonic's final rush. Knowing what I learned from the other missions, landing this awesome jump at the start is crucial for achieving an A rank here. For the most part, I followed the level as per usual while collecting all the rings I could and destroying as many bots as possible. I took a few unintended paths here and there, but ultimately tried to be as safe as I possibly could since the end of this challenge was so close to finally being over. I landed one more awesome jump at the end, cleared out the enemies, and prayed that it was enough. Oh, that's so huge. Oh my god, it's almost done. So now it's time for the final level of the run. Mission 5 of City Escape. I heard the bass line, brought out my skateboard, and raced through these familiar streets. For I was truly rolling around at the speed of sound. Sure, I had places to go, but I had to follow my ring. Never mind, this bit's stupid. All jokes aside, this has been an incredible journey, and nearly 28 hours later, it is finally coming to an end. Thank you to everyone for watching, thank you to the speedrunners who helped me, and fuck you to my friend Noah from elementary school for making me feel like I couldn't believe in the magic of Green Hill Zone. So now, it's finally time to experience it, as only one A rank separates me from answering this fated question from my childhood. Is Green Hill Zone real? And that's almost time. That's almost time. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, there's one more thing, but here I am. And I've never seen this on the screen before. Extra stage, Green Hill. Oh, the way I've been waiting roughly 20 years for this. Oh. Oh. I didn't think it was real. I've only seen this in YouTube videos and on shitty recordings. Oh, this was so worth it. Just to experience it. Because, like, I only got to see it in videos. I saw it in guidebooks, and it just didn't feel real to me. That's the little corner I fell off. That's so nostalgic. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it.
Yes!
Oh. Well, that was fun. And at the end of the day...
Just made it.
What the fuck, man? Yep, after 28 hours of Sonic Adventure 2, I was not willing to end the entire run on a C rank. So I grinded out this completely optional level for fun. But if this game has taught me anything, it's that nothing in life is truly optional. There is a reason for everything in your life that you ever come in contact with. It might not be of immediate use, but you'll eventually come across a purpose for everything that has ever happened, and find yourself achieving the final A rank in Sonic Adventure 2.
That was cool!
Yes, Sonic, that was indeed very cool. 180 emblems and a whole Green Hill later, it is finally over. I have been dreaming of this day for over 20 years, so just imagine if that starry-eyed 7-year-old could see me now. He'd probably be pretty damn confused.